Hey, what's going on, guys? It was awesome to see you guys after this break, and I know I got a lot of rest. I hope you did. So let's kick this thing off by talking about the hour-long clip with Mr. Ripken. I was disappointed to find out that it wasn't Cal Ripken, the baseball legend. If you are not hip with baseball, it turned out to be this other guy, but he is actually really, really smart, and he used a couple of words that I liked. Was infinitesimal. That tickles my intellectual bone there. Infinitesimal. Look it up. A very awesome word. So we were talking about the problems that we see with these 5 pillars. Now, from an American standpoint, I see 2 problems, and the biggest issue that I have is with the spending. But I'm going to start off with the first issue is the storage. He started talking about hydrogen storage. And in the clip, we started talking about how every house is going to be its own power plant, and we all are going to create energy, dump it back out on the grid so that when we go to work, our workplace is powered, and then we use minimal things back at the house, and then at night we come back and we have what? We need to store this energy. The sun is not going to be shining, the wind might not be there, and of course it's nighttime, the ground might not be so hot. Here in Arizona, it's not really a problem because it's still 90 degrees at midnight, but other places it will be an issue. If we are going to store this energy in a hydrogen-based way, once again, Phoenix is one of those areas where there's not a whole lot of water. We can't push that back into some water. Where's the water going to come from? We're already running out of water here. Now, this is going to cause a major problem in the desert areas, but not so much when you live next to, let's say, the Great Lakes. The government spending is the second issue that I had, is that we all pay into the government spending. And, you know, hey, I'm BROKE, and I'm paying a lot in taxes, but the government also takes out loans, in which I'm going to have to pay taxes for, that they are taking out all these loans. It's not all these loans, but very, very large loan. If we are going to be taking all this money out, one day we will have to pay it off or pay it back in some way. We are learning that debt is also a good thing. It creates money, and this money is spent on our paychecks, our jobs. When we go out and we earn this money is the fictional money that we've been talking about. This money doesn't actually exist because it was created from another debt, from another debt, from another debt, from another debt. Someone had to spend money on the land, labor, and capital. So they created this money for you to have this job. If we are just going to keep borrowing and borrowing, when does it come to a certain point where our government is going to be the one that collapses and the economy will suffer, and then it trickles back down to us? To me, it really hits home when I start talking about the military and government spending. The example that I have is when we started to change from the M16 to the newer weapons like the M4s. The reason why they chose the M4 was because they could retrofit it and it cost less money. They didn't want to completely get rid of the old weapon. So I relate this to the gas-powered vehicles that we have now. We can't take these vehicles, these Humvees, and just roll out in Syria, because that's probably where we're going to be heading next. We can't just roll out in Syria, and then when it runs out of battery, we say, okay, we need to plug it in. It's a desert. We can't plug it in there. So we're still going to need to use gas. We're still going to need to consume it. We're still going to need to have it. Until these technologies take a stronger root into society, and the government can spend money on this, that sounds like a good plan, but the government's going to flip it. The government is actually going to dump millions and millions of dollars into research, billions and billions of dollars into buying these things, which 5 years later might or may not still be around. This causes a problem for me because I'm going to be the one paying for it. I'm going to be the one using it. And I am also going to be the one kicking it out the door when it's no longer useful. The EU has already done a lot. This is not a new way of thinking for them, because this is the way that they do things. This is not something that we do here in America, even though we try our best. We have a public transportation system, and here in Phoenix we even have the light rail, but I don't know many of you that probably use it. And even in the center of the city, I still don't use it. Don't really go the places that I need to go, and obviously it's on a track. So I took the bus a lot when I was a kid, and in high school I rode the bus, but as soon as I was able, I got my own mode of transportation. In the EU, we're talking about trains, and those trains actually are the lifeblood in the pulse that takes you anywhere you need to go. They are very group-minded and very, very conscious about how society is going to work interconnected. Here in Phoenix, we just think, you know what, there's too many cars on the road, so what do? Get rid of the cars? Maybe, raise some taxes, the tag registration? No, just throw more lanes on it. That's the answer. We can't retrofit the 17, so what do? We just knock out the other stuff and build some more lanes. People can get places faster, right? Bad idea. People need to be more receptive to this public transportation. People are already receptive to the way that we want to do things and get different vehicles and plug-in transport. They would be more receptive to that when it hurts their wallet and their paycheck. But that's not the American way of doing things. That is the major stop that is going to hit a wall as far as the American public. Anyways, you guys make sure you leave a comment here letting me know that you saw this video. Just say, hey, your video was cool. Like it. Hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. Make sure you leave a comment for points back in Blackboard. I love your faces, and I'll see you next time.